My name is Kat Nelson. I'm an amateur fighter out of Fusion X-cel in Ocoee, Florida.
So this interview is about the COVID situation and the lockdown. How has that affected your training as far as fighting?
Well, it really hasn't affected it much, besides the fact that we don't have a facility and we can't be around a lot of people. But I do have really good training partners and coaches that have kept me sharp this whole time, because I do have a fight coming up soon, so I am in fight camp.
So my first question, I'm just going to jump right into it. What will make you want to fight? Where does that come from?
I started fighting like 2 years ago, but I started at Fusion about a year and a few months ago, and ever since I went to Fusion, I'm challenged every day, and that's what keeps me going. Just constantly being challenged, constant change, and it's also built my confidence a lot. And when I'm in the cage or the ring, I feel amazing, and I want to continuously learn and get better.
So no disrespect to you, but you're an attractive person. What would make you want to get in there and hurt your face up? Like, you have Paige Van Zandt, you've got the Waterman people. What's going on with that?
Well, I actually don't want to be like a Paige Van Zandt or Rachel Ostovich. I really want to fight. I love to fight. I know I'm an attractive person, but that doesn't mean I can't fight. And a lot of people actually think I'm an easy fight because of that.
So with your transition from Fusion, how do you feel about that gym? Is it friendly? Are they pushing you?
When I first came into the gym, I felt like I kind of had to prove myself that I wanted to fight and that I could handle their training, because they are very high level and there's a lot of professionals there. The experience at Fusion is very high paced, very high level. There's a lot of professionals there. I feel everyone is better than me, so I get good work every day.
So is that part of like a competitive edge, and does that make you want to push yourself harder?
Definitely, because I have to keep up with these pros without the knowledge that they have, so it keeps me on my toes.
With your striking, and are you under Mike Scory? Are you training with Julian Williams? Which are you working with all of them?
I'm working with everyone. I did originally come from Mike Scroy at another gym, and he's fortunately moved to Fusion as well. But I work with anyone. I'm a sponge, and I'll take whatever info or technique they give me and try it out and see what works for me.
Nice. At this point in your career, just starting as an amateur, how many fights have you had under your belt?
I've had 3 kickboxing fights and 1 MMA fight so far.
Are you addicted to jiu-jitsu? There's other fighters I know that jump into the love of the ground game, or do you have a particular...
I'm definitely a striker. I have a taekwondo background. I've gotten into boxing and kickboxing, but since I started MMA, I've really appreciated the ground and even grappling and wrestling. It's a big part of the MMA game, and I'm doing my best to learn and get better in that area.
I've seen you winning a few tournaments from what's the Lilo Code.
Yeah.
That was a while back. Are you do you have any up and coming fights? What's going on with that?
Yeah, I've been in a few jiu-jitsu competitions and super fights where it's kind of like a grappling match in a cage. But so far they've been good. They've taught me a lot, and I do have a MMA fight coming up in a few weeks. So.
Where is it going to be?
It's going to be in Miami, Florida.
Do you have any, I would say, like a management team? I see you're fighting and everything like that. Have you started that yet, or in the amateur level are you?
At Fusion, at the amateur level, we do have our own manager that works at the gym. So he manages most everyone's fights except for when you get to the professional level like UFC.
So I have a weird kind of a question. Being a female, do you have any pressure on you to work harder than men? Because it's, I wouldn't say a male-dominated sport, but do you have that pressure to compete with men, or are you just being the best that you can be? It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what gender you are. This to me is me being the best person and fighter I can possibly be every single day. So
I'm going to go back to the COVID lockdown situation. Are you what I consider to be an essential worker? How does that, because everything's been locked down, a lot of people are losing their jobs. How does that, what are you doing right now?
I am not an essential worker, unfortunately, because everyone is struggling right now, and it's definitely a shift in life. But the person I am, I'm very positive, and I always try to find things to do to, I guess, make my life better some way. So for now, to make money, I've been offering services, personal services like dog boarding, and I'm also trying to get my own little online business started up.
Nice. What were you doing before the lockdown as work?
I was working at downtown at Ember, Orlando as a bartender, and I was also helping out at a few MMA gyms.
So as a mixologist, how does that mix with your fighting style? I mean, because it's a lot of work you're putting into fighting, and then you have the nightlife. What's going on with that?
I guess the creativity of being a mixologist helps with fighting, but I did stop working because it is the nightlife. It does take your whole night pretty much of working and catering to people, and it gets tiring after a while.
That is a weird question to help people out there that may be going through relationship trouble. I understand you're in a strong relationship with somebody now. Being locked down, how is that strain? Or is it you working together? How are you guys doing it?
Well, he's actually an essential worker, so he's working and I'm training, but when we are together, I mean, there's not really any problems. I feel like we support each other and we want to grow together, and we're really secure, and I don't see a problem with the quarantine forcing us to be together. So
relationship advice just for anybody watching. What is teamwork? Is there a secret to it, or is it?
I feel like a lot of people try to shoot for a certain image when it comes to relationships, and that's not really true happiness or true love. You can't find that with trying to find someone that's, super attractive, or that's going to keep up with you at the gym, and you guys can look all nice and fit and sexy, but there has to be something stronger behind that, a stronger connection and a stronger bond.
So with that connection, how does he feel about you fighting? That's a good question. I know you said that he supports you, but how does he support you with as far as getting in there and?
Yeah, he actually corners me at my fights, and he's with me throughout the whole fight camp, and he holds my bags and everything at the venues and at the events. But I mean, I don't think any of my loved ones want to see me go in there and potentially get hurt. So, but they all support me. So.
I'm going to go back to your training. How are you doing with the training? Because the gyms are closed, how are you keeping up with your training? What is like a daily training session with Kat like?
I turned my garage into a gym because of the whole COVID-19. And I also have some training partners that will call me or shoot me a text to just come in and train at their own home gyms, and it's kind of a day-to-day basis. I just wait to get invited, or I'll hit them up and see what we're gonna do for the day.
My question is, technique or cardio? What would you think is better, or should you put them both together? I see a lot of fighters focus on one thing than the other. What is more important to you?
I think both of them are very important. A lot of people think that you shouldn't concentrate on cardio as much for some reason, because you don't need it to throw a punch, but you need it to throw a punch the whole fight and keep throwing punches. So I think both of them are important. I feel like training MMA, you have to train in phases because there's so many disciplines and so many things that you have to keep up with, but they're both definitely important.
So with your, I would say your amateur career taking off like it is, have any sponsors reached out to you right now? Are you having any offers and everything like that?
Yes, so I have 2 sponsors that have been with me for a few months now. I think the whole year so far. Fusion CBD products. They're based out of Miami. They have really good CBD products. I love their intense CBD bombs. After training, after I take a shower, I just put that on and I feel like a new person. And Still Nutrition is also helping me with my supplements, protein, and it also helps me with weight cuts, BCAAs and all that. I have a guy named Freddie out of American Top Team East Orlando. He's my massage therapist, and he's been sponsoring me too, and that helps out a lot because it helps me get through the week of training just smoother, way smoother.
What do you say about weight cut? What weight are you fighting at right now anyway? That's a good question.
I was fighting at 145 for kickboxing. I slowly cut down. I cut down to 140, and then I'm now fighting at 135 for MMA.
Nice. So I understand that you're going to be on a podcast. Is it next week? Or you're going to be live on something? What's going on with that? Monday night at 7 p.m. I'll be on Facebook Live for the fighting news. It's about my upcoming fight. Okay. So I would say the semi-fame right now, are you preparing yourself for that? Because you know that you have the look, you have the talent behind you. It's only eventually that you're going to take off. How does that make you feel right now? Is that a lot of pressure on you?
Not really. I'm not really thinking about the fame part. It's just coming to me. I'm just focused on training, being consistent, and getting better, and going out there to my fights and showing people that this is who I am. And
well, I've seen that you've been moving around. I've seen you doing modeling and everything like that.
Yeah.
So you're jumping in a lot of directions, taking on a lot. How do you feel about the modeling career? Is that adding? Is it just part of it?
I feel like it's definitely part of it. I don't think I would do it on its own, even though I probably could. But it's helped with advertising me as a fighter.
So here's the weird question. You've got Bellator and UFC. Those are like which one is better? Is it?
I'm not trying to be on Bellator. I want to fight with the most elite fighters out there, and I think that the UFC really catches those people and puts them on their promotion, and I'm trying to make it big.
So I know you fought on a lot of combat night shows. Working with Mitchell Chamale, how is that? Because he's a great promoter. Everybody knows at Combat Night. He's got the push. Do you see it? I know I'm not sure if you're familiar with Troy Worthen.
Yes.
He took off being around Mitchell Chamale.
Yeah.
So how do you feel working around with Mitchell?
Not only is he a great promoter, a great fighter, he's a really, really great person. He's helped me out a lot. He's helped me through this fight camp. He's just so generous, and he offers advice all the time, and he talks to me like I'm a champion, and I know that one day I will be, and he makes me believe that.
So let's go back a little bit. Do you remember your first fight and exactly what that was like?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous when I had someone wrapping my hands and I was shaking the whole time. But I feel like throughout the fight, it was kind of just like a rush. And I wasn't really thinking as much as my current fights, what I was doing technique-wise. I was just going out there and trying to beat her ass. So that's pretty much it.
Do you have any advice for younger females that want to get involved in the sport? What would be your advice on that?
I would say follow your dreams, do what makes you happy, but this sport is not for everyone. People get hurt, people get injured, and some people have even died from combat sports. But yeah, just at least try it out, and if you don't want to enter the competition field, at least continue training.
Do you have any favorite fighters that UFC is my go-to? Do you have any favorite fighters that are under the belt that you're watching? Any female fighters that are motivating you to be better? Or?
Yeah, I really like Bullet Valentina Shevchenko. She's super technical. She's very well-rounded. She knows how to manage her space and distance between her and her opponent. And I feel like I have a similar fighting style.
With Shevchenko, I know in Fusion you have fighters like Mike Perry and Jacare Souza. Have you gotten to meet any of them, talk to them? What's training with them? Or?
Yeah, I don't train with them. They're big men, but I have talked to them. There are a few other professional fighters in there, and they're all pretty great to be around and have around. It just makes you feel good, and it makes you look up to them and say, I want to be there one day. So.
Would you like to give anybody any shout outs to your sponsors, your supporters, anything that are watching this video? Or?
Yeah, my loved ones, my family and my friends that continuously support me through this journey. My coaches and my teammates, they're really, I feel like they're rough with me because I'm rough back when it comes to training and everything, but they push me. They push me to my limits, and I love it, and that's what makes each fight so easy compared to a sparring session at Fusion. So them, my sponsors for helping me as well throughout my fight career so far, and myself for keeping me motivated and pushing to wake up every day to go train, to cut the weight and take these fights. And
do you have any final words for people with this COVID situation that are maybe feeling depressed, especially for fighters that are watching this?
It's temporary. It's gonna end. It's not necessarily going to end, but things are going to get better. Just hang in there. If you don't have a gym, find something. Find something if you really want to. Find something, and yeah, stay positive. Talk to people that you know will bring positivity into your life. Don't ever give yourself a chance to feel negative.
Well, thank you, Kat, for this interview. Next time it will be 10 times better. Next time you did really, really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay strong, be positive for your next fight.
Yes.
Keep training hard.
Okay, thank you very much for having me on here.